So let's say we're doing sit from the beginning. So I know if we have the choice, I usually try to train inside, not a lot of distractions. Obviously, there's going to be some distractions, but I try to do it in the less distracting area, inside first. Do you start with the inside first and just say, let's say just for sit, what would be your next step from that you would ask a client to kind of try and walk us through that?
Yeah, and absolutely, I agree with you. Yes, I would go to, when I'm teaching a dog something new, I'll go to the lowest distraction environment I possibly can. We've got to remember too, dogs learn in snapshots. So when they're learning commands and things like that, they're very much, it's like a little picture. It's like you've taken a photo, and that's what the dog, is seeing. And if we change that picture too quickly, our dog can look at us like, what are you talking about? And so it's really good to remember that. Unfortunately, for things like fear and phobias, they can generalize. So, positive associations have to be very scenario driven. Yeah, but we have to remember sometimes, the negative associations can actually be quite generalized. So that's a good thing to kind of think about with dogs. But if I was teaching a dog to sit, and we got it, we mastered it in the living room, I'd say, okay, and I'd actually say to the client, where do you think is the next best place for us to go with just slightly more distraction? Okay, perhaps it's the backyard. Yep, we go outside, again, it's a different diversity. We've got a different environment. We might have gone from carpet to grass. That makes a difference. We've got air on us, the sun on us, things like that. Nothing to us, but to a dog, it is a different picture. So we're taking a different picture. So I'd go to the backyard. If we mastered it in the backyard, then we could think about going out onto the street, and then, eventually leading it all the way to somewhere as distracting as the park. I think that's got to be one of the most distracting environments, if there are a fair few dogs around, because there's a lot of competing interests, for your dog's attention. So we've got to just step it up slowly. And if we rush and go from the living room to the backyard to the park, often we'll get disappointed, and then we've got to step it all the way back. So much better to build the communication and build the relationship, this successful relationship, by just stepping it up one little distraction at a time, and then you'll have a dog that's sitting fantastically anywhere.
Yeah.
And you'll be so happy about that.